Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Her Journey, Her Strength, where we celebrate inspiring women and listen to their stories behind their journeys. I'm your host, Irene. Our guest today is Jocelyn Young, a trailblazing IT leader, devoted mother, and passionate advocate for youth development and community service. Early in her career, Jocelyn broke barriers by becoming the first woman in her group to be promoted to assistant vice president within just 3 years. She went on to lead major technology initiatives and teams while helping others grow and succeed. Beyond her professional achievements, Jocelyn has spent decades mentoring young people through scouting, schools, church programs, and workforce development. Throughout career challenges, family responsibilities, and even a battle with cancer, she has remained committed to serving others and creating opportunities for future generations. Welcome, Jocelyn Young. Your story is one of leadership, service, and resilience, and we're excited to learn more about the experience that shaped your journey. So let's talk about you. Our first question is, having led large projects and diverse teams, what are the core qualities of a great leadership and how do you put them into practice?
I believe that great leadership is about servant leadership. It's about lifting others up, building trust, and creating a space for everyone to grow. I usually like to get to know my team members and know their strengths and what motivates them. And from there, I basically align the work that can help them thrive. For example, if someone in my teams enjoy processes, I will have them build checklists and also knowledge-based articles. And if someone loves to travel, I may send them to support another office. What I've found is that when people feel seen, trusted, and valued, they become more engaged and more invested in the team. One thing I'm really proud of is creating a team where people really shine. And one thing I notice is whenever I have special projects or weekend works and I'm asking for volunteers, I never have a problem. They always step up to the plate or they work out the schedule amongst themselves.
You've mentored youth for decades. Where did that passion come from? And what have young people taught you about leadership and potential?
When I was in 5th grade, I attended a residential summer camp. That was my first one to be away from my family and my parents. And there I received just tremendous care and mentorship from other young leaders. And that really impressed me. They made me feel seen and also encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone. And they actually invited me to return to the next year's camp to help out in a support role. That experience basically stayed with me and developed me into a passionate leader to build other people up. And it basically shaped how I lead today. Since then, a lot of what I do with volunteer work, which is serving as camp counselor, youth counselor for church, Sunday school teacher, later as Boy Scout leader, in the capacity of an assistant scout master or Eagle advisor. What I love most is building relationship with these young people and walking alongside them through different stages of their life. So I've seen many of them grow up from middle school to high school to college, entering the workforce, and see them actually start building their own family. So I ended up throughout the years attending their graduations, their weddings, and now their baby shower. And along the way, built lasting relationship that made the work incredibly rewarding.
So based on your experience, how do you develop intern on your team?
I would say on day one, I tell my interns 3 things. They're here to learn, to make mistakes, and ask questions. The goal is for me to create a safe environment where growth is expected and supported. We do have high expectations, but we want their experience to be one that's also welcoming. I usually take them out to lunch on the first day, and we do something fun if possible. Like I would take them on the Angel's Flight, which is the shortest railway in the whole world, so this way they feel at home right away. I also keep a team culture that is light, that's fun, that's also engaging. Sometimes in a team meeting, I will basically tell them, everyone stand up and stretch. Someone will lead the stretch exercise. The other thing is I encourage my interns to take copious notes, right? And it's taking notes, handwritten notes, because they build muscle memory. And they have that notebook with them the whole time. So during the 6 months, they're welcome to reference that, especially technical jargons and internal abbreviations. We also encourage learning, and we understand mistakes are part of the journey. One time we have an intern that put in the wrong zip code. To us, it may be a small typo, but it was for a laptop shipment. What started as a small error became a security issue because it involved company asset. The lesson stuck from then on, right? Everything they do was triple check. Additionally, being an intern in our company, they come in like a blank sheet of paper. And during the 6 months, we teach them like hardware and software installation. We teach them how to manage and also configure mobile devices, right? We show them the importance of cybersecurity, the importance of not writing your password on a device. We also show them like policies and procedures, like what's a proper way to onboard and offboard a colleague, right? Or what are like asset management policies. Like a company asset is important. If it's ever lost or stolen, how do you handle those cases? So at the end of their 6 months, basically our interns are career ready. So they leave confident and ready to take on a new technology role.
What best practices do you rely on to drive efficiency and keep projects moving across your professional, volunteer, and family responsibility?
I would say, as we all know, we're all busy, right? And we carry different hats. One concept I've developed over the years is what you call leveraging pockets of time. So these are your 5 to 10, 15 minutes of downtime that really adds up. I'm very intentional in using them. So for instance, at work, I would encourage my team to keep a OneNote called parking lot items. And this basically lists non-urgent tasks that they can pick up when they have time. Additionally, on a personal note, it's like I would return phone calls during this time. I would work on my calendars, call a friend, check up on a friend, read on topics like parenting, fintech, bio, cancer advancement, just to stay current. At home, I would encourage my kids to do the same by, tidying up their space, organizing, or simply sort through school materials. Whether I'm on the phone or waiting for a doctor's appointment, picking up kids, especially on weekends, right, when everyone is busy, right, I would leverage those downtime. Or even long rides when we're going for a trip. Like, for instance, one time we took our newly landed immigrant friends on a road trip, and I basically shared the Pledge of Allegiance with them and started memorizing it. And during family trips, we also leverage that time to get to know our kids better. So we use a deck of cards called talking points. And they pick a topic, they discuss the topic, and you'd be surprised, things that your kids share with you during those moments. However, I also know when to shut down. When it's time to shut down and call it a night, I do that, as balance matters. Basically, it's a mindset that helps me stay present, productive, and purposeful.
How did your cancer journey change your perspective on time, family, work, and purpose?
I would say basically cancer changed how I see time, family, work, and purpose. It reminded me that tomorrow is never promised, so I try to be intentional with my time, my energy, and resources, and the organizations I choose to support. One thing too is like I constantly experience fatigue, and I require maintenance treatment for 1 to 2 hours a day. And because of that, my days are naturally shortened. So I learned to be very purposeful with my time. I do what I can while I can, and I also show up to make a difference. I focus my time and energy where I can make the greatest impact. So first and foremost, I would say that means being very intentional with my time, with my family, my husband, and my teens. I use this time to basically raise them to be confident and also independent young adults. Now wants to experience more time traveling solo and also attending conferences. So those are the time that we really support him on that. I also find it important to deepen my relationship with my family, my extended family, and my friends. And it also means that I'm able to pour time into young people, invest in young people, especially like in scouting, in our future Eagle Scouts, and volunteering. Volunteer time that we do at school and at church are meaningful for me as we are building the generations of tomorrow. And additionally, at work, I do the same. I continue to raise a high-functioning team. And again, just be very selective with the activities I choose to invest my time in. Long story, or I would say in the end, right, I really want to build people, support my community, and build a lasting legacy behind.
What's a single piece of advice that you would like to give young women balancing career, families, and personal goals?
I would say, we all go through different seasons in life. And I think the key is to be the best version of yourself in the season you are in. When I was single and later married without children yet, I poured myself into volunteering and serving as a youth counselor in church for almost 10 years. And as our family grew, my focus shifted, right? I decided to be more present with my children and in their school. So I became a room mom, I serve in PTA, I chaperone trips both locally and internationally. I would say the last two was like in Paris and Venice. And then supporting them in scouting. When they joined scouting, that was 12 years ago, the oldest one was first grade. I began serving in that space too. And now, as you can tell, it's like my oldest one, like achieved the rank of Eagle and has graduated out of scouting. I stayed on as their Eagle advisor for the troop to help other young people reach their and achieve Eagle at the same time. So I also continue to build and invest in high-performing teams at work. So as the season changes, I would say the purpose stays the same. And to me, that's basically adoring God, building people, and then serving the community.
Let's kick back and have some fun. Jocelyn joins two scouts for an easygoing conversation filled with honest thoughts, thoughtful questions, and a few lighthearted moments. Let's see where the conversation leads.
Hello, my name is Tony Dunn, and I'm from Troop 359 in San Marino, California.
Hello, I'm Tyler Young, Troop 359, San Marino, California.
I understand it's like I saw the three of you did the march at the Rose Parade this January 1st, which marks the 137th Rose Parade celebration. Can you all share what the experience was like?
It's definitely an experience that I will remember for a really long time. The Rose Parade has always been something that was majestic, to say for the least. It's been something that the nation watches on New Year's Day, and it's something that I've watched since I was a kid. And being able to walk in it and participate in it was a really fun experience, even though there was a little bit of rain.
A little bit?
Not a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the same too. I've been watching the Rose Parade since I was a kid, and I just always hope that maybe one day I will be able to walk in it, and dreams come true. I did, and it was one of the best moments of my life.
So glad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's been a truly rewarding experience being able to walk, not just one time, but now my second time. Definitely, obviously, seeing the Rose Parade on TV is one thing, and then getting to experience the real thing, watching and seeing the thousands of people cheering you on, and bringing in good spirits in the new year. So.
Well, congratulations. Looks like all three of you made it, and made it to be part of the tournament troop to actually march this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now that you have achieved the rank of Eagle, which takes between 5 to 7 years to attain, right? What would your advice be to scouts who are starting their scouting journey?
I say just have fun, enjoy the moment, really kind of, be friends with everyone in the troop. Don't procrastinate on all the requirements or everything. Get it done ASAP, and just really enjoy all the campouts, all the hiking, and just be with your friends, yeah.
And you, Tony?
I think Tyler and I joined scouting together when we were 6th grade, I think. Because first, it gave me a lot more friends. I got to meet Tyler, Thomas, Stephen, Justin, a lot more people that I wasn't too close with at school at first, but scouting brought us closer together. And there's also definitely a lot of leadership experiences. And I guess the younger scouts, like Irene said, take it easy. It's actually a lot more fun to scouting than it just ranks.
Yeah. I think I'd say to definitely start early, as Irene said, and also have fun, as what they mentioned. It's definitely a journey, right? And so you want to go along that journey with your friends, build that camaraderie, and definitely take advantage of leadership, right? Being in leadership is a great responsibility and also a great way to kind of test yourself and really see how are you growing in different ways other than just the physical components.
Irene, what was your experience, or what was your favorite merit badge?
I have a lot of merit badges. I think just with all my hobbies, I kind of just did everything that I felt it was really interesting, because I do a lot of art, so I did a lot of art badges, and I also there was pet care, and there was just a bunch. And I think for scouting, one of my favorite memory is definitely like all the camping trips I've been on. And without scouting, I don't think I would actually, go on a hike for like 10 miles, go camping in the snow, go Death Valley and go on a hike in Death Valley. Like, it's just everything scouting have done for me. I don't think I can do that by myself.
Speaking of Death Valley, if I recall, I think we all went to Death Valley together, right? That was one of those troops where we had 359 and 360 combined, right? Do you remember what we had for dinner that night?
I think for my patrol, we might have had hot pot.
Absolutely.
Was it hot pot?
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
spot
yeah.
on, right?
Yeah.
I think it was so spicy, like some of the scouts could not handle
Yeah.
it, right? And additionally, it's like I want to add on to the merit badges class. It's like you all have earned your merit badges, right? And as a scouter, as an adult leader, we get to what do you call this? We accompany you on those classes. We get to watch you. Sometimes we get to sit in those classes. Do you guys actually know that I actually got a merit badge because of that? So,
I would like to add on to what Irene said. So she was talking about doing the specific merit badges to your hobbies, and also not just hobbies, but also leads to career choices. There are definitely certain ones that speak out, like medicine. There's law, right? There's other stuff that you could take that more towards your interests and opens you up to possible career choices.
Yeah, and then a lot of them are really hands-on. So like Tyler said, when it helps you explore your career choices, you can actually kind of experience it as well. And then a lot of the instructors are volunteers who are probably experts in their own fields. So I think that's really good when you're trying to kind of look for what you want to do in the future.
Tony, you actually touched on a very good point. You mentioned that these merit badge counselors are volunteers, which is true. It's like these are volunteers like myself. These are moms or dads. These are professionals, own space in their own level of expertise. They basically step out to provide and teach these merit badge classes. And having the opportunity to avail of these merit badge class, I would say, again, is one of the perks of scouting. Some of these classes, I do remember, like some of our scouts joined the New York Film Academy, right? They were offering merit badges in photography, animation, game design, right? And at that time when scouts signed up, they were not charging much. They just said that, scouts, please sign up. They were charging $15, and they asked the scouts, just pay for the hot dog and lunch that day. Everything else was provided by the academy. The instructors actually were they were like the merit badge instructors were also instructors in the academy themselves, and they actually provided the space, they provided the experience, so our scouts came home like with 1 or 2 merit badges that day. Yeah.
Thank you, Jocelyn, and thank you, Tyler and Tony. Your honesty, curiosity, and reflection reminds us that every voice matters, and that we all have something to learn from each other, no matter our age. It's always inspiring to see how young people see the world, and their questions are often simple, but conversations they spark can be incredibly meaningful. Now, let's keep that spirit of curiosity going and invite even more young voices into our conversation. It's time for our audience Q&A. Let's hear their questions.
Hi, Jocelyn. My question is, what is something you wish someone had told you when you were younger?
I would say growing up, I kind of wish that someone had coached me in terms of reading a situation and being able to articulate yourself in that scenario. I remembered I was in a social studies class and I was sneezing, and out of that sneeze, we have uncontrollable body movement, and I accidentally kicked a project board. That project board basically are nails, like in the outline of a butterfly, with strings around them to showcase the butterfly. Somehow it disengaged the string and I bent down to fix it, and that's when the teacher saw me. She thought that I was working on that project and then confiscated my project board. At the end of the class, I didn't really know how to handle this situation. I just woke up and says, "Can I have my project back?" That was, I think, one of the most insensitive requests. Now that I'm an adult and thinking back, I wish that at that time I knew how to handle situations like that. And in this case, it's like my advice, like for younger people, If you ever face situations like that, if the situation is going well, I would say always start with a thank you and tell the other party why the situation is working out well for you and that you're grateful for it. And if things are not going well, I would say first thing always is acknowledge. Acknowledge whatever the situation is, and if it's necessary for you to apologize, I would say definitely apologize. And then from there, explain your situation, and then after that is ask how can you remediate the situation. And again, I wish I have those skill sets growing up, especially as a young fifth grade elementary school kid.
Hi, Jocelyn. If you could pass one value to next generation, what would it be and why?
I would say one thing is gratitude. Always look back with gratitude and be grateful to those who have helped you get there. Additionally, pay it forward. Become that person for someone else and invest in others the way others had invested in you. This way, you basically are leaving a legacy.
Is there any moments in your life that makes you want to go back and do it one more time?
I would say in this case, it brings back a memory when we lost a young man at church. This was Matt. He was 23 years old. I heard he was sick, and I was thinking, it's like, I'll go visit him in the hospital next week. Unfortunately, he passed away that weekend. And that was a turning point in my life that I learned to be present and also like to really value the moment. Unfortunately, years later, Matt's sister had the same illness. And this time when I heard about it, I rushed to the hospital. I went to see her twice. And the second time I went to see her, pretty much she was on her deathbed. And I was at her side when she passed away. So all I can say is life is beautiful, cherish it. Do what you have to do, say what you have to say, and don't worry about being imperfect. We don't have to wait for the right moment, but I would say seize the day, capture each moment, especially for the people around you. You know, show them you love them, right? Give that extra hug. Sometimes it feels awkward, but sometimes that's what they will remember the rest of their lives.
This is our last part, which is the rapid fire round. First question, if people who know you best describe you in 3 words, what will it be?
I would say nurturing, that'll be one. Strategic, and also forward thinking.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Considering my current situation, health is wealth.
What are you most grateful for today?
I would say it boils down to family and community. They basically carried me through my darkest times, and especially the last 5 years when I was first diagnosed with cancer.
What do you hope people remember about you?
Someone who led with my heart, someone who lifted others, and helped people shine.
What's a daily habit or a small ritual that helps you keep you grounded?
I would say effective communication, especially when writing emails. I would say keep it short, have a brief subject heading, have a salutation, be clear what the ask is, and also a brief background of the situation. And with that goal in mind, it's like I want an email returned with 1 word, which is approve.
Thank you, Jocelyn, for sharing your experience and wisdom with us today.
Thank you for having me, Irene. It's an honor to be here today.
Your journey reminds us that true leadership is about serving others, creating opportunities, and helping the next generation thrive. Keep challenging, keep nurturing. If there's someone you love to hear from, follow us on Instagram and YouTube and leave a comment. We'll do our best to make it happen. Until then, stay curious. This is Irene. See you next time.
Be part of Earth Foundation.